Once upon a time, a group of nerdy voice actors shared their Dungeons & Dragons campaign online for all to see. Little did they know that they would spark a tabletop RPG renaissance, and go on to create their own tabletop RPG system, TV shows based on their campaigns, and now a video game. Hello crows and non-crows alike, my name is Joe Mack, otherwise known as Support Crow, and today we're kicking off Season 2 by going over what we know about Critical Role's mysterious video game. Given that my whole thing is about single-player create-a-character RPGs with choices and consequences and being a fan of Critical Role itself, I was one of many that caught the earliest whispers of a video game. At the time, it was just a rumor, nothing to really hold a candle to. Until late 2021, when it was revealed by Variety that a Critical Role agent by the name of Michael Cohen has been bouncing from publisher to publisher and studio to studio, looking for the right partners to create an actual game. Since then, there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of chatter. Any official news has been on the quiet side, which makes sense. No, these people are not Electronic Arts. I don't see these people rushing to get a game out for some easy money. They care about their IP, and much of the value of that IP comes from the care that they have put into it. Then, starting from the second half of last year to now, the conversation wheel on this topic has started spinning faster and faster and faster. Last year, a content creator by the name of Matthias Magnon interviewed a few members of Critical Role. Within that interview, Matthew Mercer had this to say.
I mean, we've definitely talked about it. We're still, exploring opportunities in that regard as gamers ourselves. The challenge, of course, for anybody in a fantasy, setting is the large shadow that is cast by Baldur's Gate. But also, wanting to make sure that if we do that, we go into a partnership with the right developers and a right type of game design that doesn't just try and follow in the footsteps of games like that have already done such an incredible job to where, it offers the comparison. Lean into our strengths and find something that feels both honest to us and what makes Exandria and our stories unique and makes it feel unique in the spectrum of a very, very large video game market. So we're exploring those options. I'd love to.
Matthias is a cool person, by the way, and you can check out the rest of that interview down in the description. So at that point, the team appears to still be looking for a partner. Well, on December 1st, in a Rolling Stone interview with the whole squad, Travis Willingham, the CEO of Critical Role, makes the claim that their journey is quickly coming to an end. That quote, "We're starting to come to the end of a long road we've been undertaking for the last couple of years." Then, in March of this year, Travis made the claim that an announcement could happen at any day. It sounds like the team has found their partner, and they have. Ad Hoc Studio, an indie game studio and the developers of the soon-to-be-released Dispatch, a superhero workplace comedy. Greatly looking forward to that game, by the way. With the partner found, the Critical Role team seems to now be having the wonderful conversation about scope and budget and all that fun jazz. So it may be a minute before we get a nailed down description of what the game actually is, but that hasn't stopped people from having some theories, myself included. So what could this game actually be? Well, naturally, I have a few ideas. Whatever this game is, we do know it's going to involve Exandria. That has been confirmed. So we have a setting. This is going to be a fantasy game of some kind. When it comes to the foundation of the gameplay, I don't think it's too far of a leap of logic to suspect that this game would use Critical Role's Daggerheart tabletop RPG system, much in the same way Baldur's Gate 3 uses D&D. So it's likely Daggerheart will be used to some degree. But how will the game manifest before our eyes? Well, here it gets kind of muddy. It could be like Baldur's Gate 3, but I don't think it'll go in that direction. Like he said in the clip, Matt Mercer seems to make it clear that they are hesitant to step into the shadow of Baldur's Gate 3 and be compared to it. And given that they have partnered with Ad Hoc Studio, a still very young indie developer that started in 2018, I don't see a game of that scope being worked on for now. Maybe another time, but I don't think now is the time. As much as I'd love to see a Baldur's Gate 3 style game set in Exandria, I don't think it would be a wise decision. Instead, I believe we could see something smaller in scope, something more linear, but still offers opportunities to provide player choice. So here's my theory. We're going to get something like Dragon Age Origins, I know. Joe, you're a Dragon Age fan. That's projecting. I know. I'm trying to find any excuse to keep the franchise relevant. I get it, but it makes sense. If you look at Dragon Age Origins, it's complex, but it's also restrained. It provides a lot of player choice and narrative opportunity. It is also very structured and follows a simple path, relatively speaking. It's also worth pointing out that Dragon Age is enjoyed by some members of the Critical Role group. Matthew Mercer himself has expressed enjoyment in the franchise, and would even eventually voice the Shadow Dragon Viper in Dragon Age the Veilguard. While I don't see Critical Role running to BioWare anytime soon, I'd be surprised if their video game project is not somewhat inspired by the Dragon Age franchise, by some degree. Another theory is that it could be like Dispatch. There's nothing that says that this Critical Role game is going to be an actual roleplay game. So it could be a narrative-driven choice and consequence game like Dispatch with the same look and feel as the Vox Machina show on Amazon. Or it could be anything else, Diner Dash in Exandria, but instead of a diner it's a tavern and you have to keep Grog fed and drunk and happy or he'll rage out and destroy the place. Who knows? Beyond all of that, there's not much to glean or speculate on, except for one last theory of mine. So a month ago, we had the Critical Role Campaign 4 announcement. With it, Matt Mercer, who has served as Dungeon Master for the past 3 campaigns, passed the mantle over to Brennan Lee Mulligan, and has stated that he will be a player this time around. Now, Mercer has been DMing for 10 years. It's perfectly reasonable for someone else to take the reins and give this glorious, fantastic person a much-needed break. Trust me, I've been DMing a long time. I understand. That said, I don't trust anything at face value. It's a personal flaw. I'm working on it anyway. Point being, it's interesting that Matt Mercer is stepping down as Dungeon Master just as the team has partnered up with a game studio and could be launching the actual development of a Critical Role video game very soon, assuming they haven't already. It's a very interesting coincidence. The creative process for any video game is a full-time job. Everything from the narrative to the artistic design is very extensive and extremely important, because the sooner you get everything down at the beginning and make sure that everyone is on the same page, the much easier the entire process is. I'm not saying that as a game designer, I'm still a student, but from what I'm learning from other people, that's a very important moment. That's a very important part to the production process, or whatever part it's called, the concept or whatever. I'm still learning anyway. Matthew Mercer does not strike me as the kind of person that would leave that primarily in other people's hands. It's a video game set in the world he created and built more on in collaboration with others over the past 10 plus years. On top of that, a bad Critical Role video game would really hurt the brand. So I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to be a player for Campaign 4, to have the additional time to focus more on the video game. I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for watching. Let me know down in the comments what kind of game you'd like to see from Critical Role. And even though there are whispers and handshakes and secret deals made in Thieves' Cant, there's not much more beyond that when it comes to the Critical Role video game. But fear not, weary traveler, they have caught this Kinku's attention, and I'll be sure to let the rest of you crows know what my investigation checks turn up. Until then though, be safe, be well, be kind, bye-bye. And happy Season 2. Let's keep it going, everybody.